Hey guys, what's up? This is Panstar Dragon, and today we'll be doing the top 5 best supports for patch 5.9. And the last time we did a tier list was in patch 5.7, and ever since then I do feel like some champions are a bit stronger than others, so there will just be some tier position switches, and also adding in runes and masteries for each champion, so at least you guys have some basic knowledge of how to set up for the champion rather than just picking it. And with all that being said, let's get started.
Disco Desert.
Alrighty, so at number 5 we do have Bard. Alright, so ever since Bard was released, he's been getting some minor buffs each patch afterwards. And finally, the minor buffs start to show up, and now he's actually a pretty decent champion. I mean, having a 1.8 second stun if you land your Q properly against a wall or two champions is actually pretty good, especially if it has 7-second cooldown. Reduced to 4.2 if you have 40% CDR, so that's pretty good. It was also pretty weak before since the base damage on it was really low. But they kind of fixed that a bit, so he's actually going to be like decent in laning now. And the amount of utility that this guy has is actually pretty useful. He's got really good disengage since he has his Q to, throw it out there and then run away. He's got his E to help his allies and him get away from enemies. More movement speed coming out from his W to get away faster. And of course his ultimate to stop people in their tracks. Now, I do like Bard's ultimate, how it has great utility. I just don't find it really good too much because it doesn't have any scaling on it if you put points into it, except for lowering its cooldown. But it is a good way to catch enemies and like split up their team kind of, or say if you're trying to tower dive and you need to disable a tower, then you got a free Omen Wrecker in your kit. And he's also got pretty good roaming because, he has those chimes to go around and then get some mobility and go to other lanes. Although one thing for sure definitely is when playing him, he does have a high skill cap. Knowing how to use your ultimate properly in correct situations, when to roam and collect your chimes, and the best way to use your E on walls since, it is a new mechanic and not a lot of people are used to it. He also lacks a bit of damage since the only damage that's coming from him is his Q and auto attacks and passive. But other than that, he's got a lot of utility, so he makes a pretty good support. Next up at number 4 is going to be Leona. So Leona is probably one of my favorite supports to play in ranked games, just because personally I like being a tank and initiating team fights that I think are good. And so I like to pick my fights, and with Leona I can do that with her ultimate or using her E. And I also do damage if I have an ally proccing my passive, so that's even better. And even then, I feel like her base damage is really good since her W has like 50 damage per level when you rank it up, which is really good. And basically all her spells actually do damage, so that's interesting for sure. But what I do not like about her is that in lane, she could be very useless if she's getting poked down by level 1. And the only way she can trade is she all-ins and putting her in a vulnerable spot and maybe getting ganked by the jungler more easier. But she does like win her lane and get into the mid game phase. She becomes a huge tank and becomes a big threat in team fights. And at number 3 is going to be Thresh. So easily, good Thresh players can carry their lane by just playing Thresh. There's a lot of counterplay in some matchups like Leona vs Thresh. He can flay away Leona when she uses her Zenith Blade, so that's really good. And he's also one of the few supports who can use all of his abilities defensively or offensively. And in my opinion, I feel like he's actually the best designed champion in this game right now, along with Lee Sin. And yeah, if you hook somebody and you want to lock someone down, you can definitely keep him pinned down since you land your hook, use your E, and then box them in. So kind of like Blitz, one hook can win you the game and turn around team fights. And apparently the best way to play him is the 40% CDR Hook City Thresh. But I do have to say that he does feel a bit underwhelming when he is behind, just because his stats don't kind of like scale that well. I think his base stats are based off like a range support like Nami or someone, so it's not as tanky as say someone like Leona, but he does have souls to make up for that. And at number 2 is going to be Nautilus. Okay, so this guy scales incredibly with levels. Easily one of the best tanks when he hits level 16 since his ultimate has more stun duration and his passive has more root duration. And his E is on like a 5-second cooldown, so you can keep spamming it, especially with cooldown reduction you can spam it even more and do a lot of damage. And so since he does scale with levels, he doesn't really need items, so he's really good when he's behind, or better if he's ahead. And since his E is on a short cooldown in long trades in the bottom lane, he can easily come out on top since his E is going to do a lot of damage. And if he does get ganked, he also has his Dreadline to get away from the enemy, so it is hard to catch him and target him besides the AD carry. And yeah, I just feel like he's really good right now. I guess the only con he really has is he can only all in, aka use his Q and kind of do his little combo and trade like that. And it can also put you in a bad spot if the enemy jungler is around. and he's also susceptible to getting poked down before ever that happens. But other than that, I definitely think he deserves a number 2 spot. And in number 1 is going to be Janna. Still number 1, and again, the reason she is so good is because of her ultimate, her shields, well, actually, I feel like it's more of her ultimate. I feel like every other spell is fine, but her ultimate is just super high utility. It's like a Soraka ult. I mean, she still has to channel it, but she has time since she knocked everyone back away from her. And I actually think the numbers on it is actually better than Soraka's ultimate. So add that plus a knockback equals awesome. And if you do have like a swishy backline like say Kog'Maw or Xerath or both of them, bruisers and assassins will have a hard time killing them since Janna has a lot of peel because if you hop in onto them, she'll just knock you back and reset the team fight. And now you as a bruiser or assassin is now vulnerable to taking poke from that Xerath and Kog'Maw. So yeah, that's about it, and that's why I think she's really good. I mean, she has her tornado. She also does have really good roaming potential because of her W, giving her that extra movement speed. And her ganks are not that bad, giving AD slow, knock up, use your ultimate if needed. And yeah, pretty good if I say so myself, although for sure I don't know how to play her in lane, so I do feel like she's kind of hard to play unless you know how to do the matchups and stuff. Because me personally, honestly, I just can't get the hang of it, and I'm not sure what I should be doing in certain situations, so I do feel like she has a high skill cap. Next up, we're going to be doing some honorable mentions, and first up is going to be Morgana. Finally, they fixed the spell shield bug, where basically if you did more damage than the black shield, it wouldn't negate the CC, but they fixed that, so I do feel like now she's a viable pick. Next up is going to be Soraka. Love her heals, makes her AD carries survive burst damage because of her WR, or make her frontline healthy and never die. I think she's a bit underplayed, but I think she's still good. Hey, so thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did enjoy this video, maybe you enjoyed top 5 best AD carries for solo queue patch 5.9, or top 10 best junglers, again for patch 5.9, or maybe the top 5 best top laners for solo queue for patch 5.8. I won't be doing 5.9 because I relatively feel like it's the same. I mean, Skirmishers and Cinderhawk did get changed, but like, I didn't really think it was a big thing in solo queue, more competitive play. For sure, there are some champions who did that, but I didn't think it was too much of a big deal. And yeah, again, if you did enjoy this video, maybe you would like to subscribe right there and join the No Pants party. So again, I thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time.